Welcome to the Business Bear Podcast, Garrett County Business Development's local business marketing podcast, hosted by me, local radio personality and the voice of Garrett County, Connor Norman. Why Business Bear? Well, not only are black bears famous in our community, but the acronym actually stands for something. It stands for Business Expansion Assistance and Retention Podcast. So on this show, we sit down and spend 15 to 30 minutes talking with our local business owners, state partners, and economic development professionals in Garrett County. It's our hope that you learn a lot, and we'll try to have some fun while we're at it. So stay tuned and buckle up. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Business Bear Podcast. It's your buddy Connor Norman here, your business development specialist, and we have got another incredible episode here. Maybe you listened to it last year when we put it out, when we were super excited for the Western Maryland Classic coming for their second year. Well, we've got that team back in the studio today to talk about the third annual Western Maryland Classic coming to Garrett County here in the next few months. We are amped, we are excited, and I've got a great team in here to talk about that event today. So let's talk about some of our guests. We've got Mr. Paul Edwards coming in, being my co-host again today. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Connor. Thank you.
So good to have you in here. Also with us today in the studio, we've got Mr. Matt Redinger. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Connor. Good to see you again.
Oh, good to have you in here. Over there, my man, Ron Bittinger. Ron, how are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for asking.
All right, and then we've got Coach, Mighty Flying Cows head coach. Here's Mr. Dan Prete. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing great and wonderful to be up here again.
So good to have you guys in. Well, today we're going to be talking about one of our most exciting topics. I love it as a podcast host because we're talking business all day long, and it's not so often where you get to mix the world of business and sports. But today we get to talk about both, and I love it. Today we're going to be talking about basketball, and specifically the incredible event basketball has brought to our community after the first of the year. We're excited for the third year of the Western Maryland Classic. Gentlemen, tell me a little bit about the Western Maryland Classic here for someone that may be tuning in for the first time. Happening on January 29th through the 31st. Gentlemen, give me a quick 101 on the Western Maryland Classic. Before we get started here, then we're going to go around the room, kind of get to know all of the players here. Dan, kick it off. Tell me a little bit about the Western Maryland Classic.
So the Western Maryland Classic this year is January 29th, 30th, and 31st. This started years ago, maybe 14, 15 years ago, just under a different name, and it was a elite high school basketball tournament. And we started these in order to get home games when I was still coaching in high school. And since then, it's morphed into the best teams in the country coming in to town to play, but also we've added a component of having the local teams also and regional teams be able to participate in such an event. So it has grown tremendously, and we enjoy bringing in different teams from around the country every year to kind of see our area, wherever that may be. And right now it's at Deep Creek Lake in Garrett County.
Awesome. That is phenomenal, and we are so grateful to have you guys here. And again, this is huge for our area, and I kind of want to tap Paul here for a few minutes. Paul, what do you think? What do you think the value of a tournament like this is to Garrett County as a whole?
Well, I think it's invaluable in the sense that you can't buy this kind of exposure. It's on TV. You've got the best of the best in the country coming in. You know, a lot of these guys are going to end up being pro basketball players and affiliated with the game. Probably some of them will end up with some disposable income at some point in time and may remember their time here and want to buy a second home. Certainly economically, you've got a lot of people from all over the country coming in for 3 or 4 days that are going to be staying in our hotels and rentals. They're going to be buying things in our stores. They're going to be eating in our restaurants and everything else. So it's for a relatively slower time. I know ski season is good, but it's not near what summer is in Garrett County, and to be able to add something in the winter months to Garrett County that brings a lot of people in and showcases our county is a tremendous thing for this area.
Point well made, for one. And second, our economy is driven 60% by that hospitality industry. When you talk about the winter months, you're talking about a lot of service-based industries that really struggle to get people in the doors because, you know, it's colder months. Maybe some people don't want to come out. But I want to quote a commissioner I've heard say this quite many a times. The best roads department in the world, we will get you in, we will get you out.
And that's true.
It's true. I've lived here all my life, and there's nowhere you can't go.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We'll get you there and get you home.
And let me tell you, it is worth getting in here because this is a world-class event that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be 3 days, and it's going to be action-packed. Not only are you going to see some of the top athletes in the nation, but you're also going to get an opportunity to take in this beautiful surrounding, some awesome local vendors. You're going to get to taste, see, and experience a lot of what this area has to offer, and in such a cool way where you have this sports event, of course, to be that additional draw. So coming back to the team here, we heard from Dan. Let's go over here to Matt. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and your involvement with Western Maryland Classic.
Well, if you remember last year's episode, so I'm the athletic director at Southern High School, and Dan and I are friends. And he had an event, and he needed a new home at the time. I say we now because it's here. So we talked a bit, and we discussed having it in Oakland, and then the more I thought about it, I thought the lake was like maybe the better spot with Garrett College's arena and so forth. It's really a nice venue to set up, and obviously there's more hotel situations centrally located through here. So that's kind of how we got the ball rolling with this. I liked when you started this. I liked hearing the third annual, because there were times where you're not sure when you start something like this, can you get to that third year, like are we biting off too much? But I think the event has gotten, Dan and I talk all the time, several times a month throughout the year, and more so now than that we're getting closer to the event. But we talk about how the caliber of people that are coming and how this has grown in just 3 years is really amazing. It's super amazing. And then for us to involve not just Northern and Southern boys and girls, we've now involved boys-wise the entire West MAC Conference. Okay, so that includes Allegheny, Fort Hill, and Mountain Ridge. So now we're bringing in some entities where we're getting Cumberland and Frostburg to perhaps come up. Let's come see it. Let's involve you. And so they were very willing to play. So that also involves Petersburg and Kaiser with that. And so we've got an area flair that allows people from around not just Garrett County but now other counties in the neighboring area to be involved in this event and take a part of it.
I think that's a great point. Involving the local students and the local teams in this event is massive. Not only do they get to come and play on this level, but they get to learn and see what teams that are professionally bound, how they're playing. I'm sure they learn a lot. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Do you think it's a big thing for our local teams?
I think it's tremendous because in your given year, you have kids that are never going to see players, that are going to come here, that are as good as they are. You're not going to see, the Cooper Flags or the Kind Anthonys, in your day-to-day operations. Most of our kids don't travel in AAU situations where they even see them not just necessarily play against them, obviously, but don't see them even in passing. So for our kids and our area kids and our fans to be able to see that level of athlete is really impressive. And at Garrett County, and Paul will attest to this because we grew up here, and Ron to a point, the area basketball fan is a very smart basketball fan, right? And so everybody really loves it. And you alluded to the snow, and Paul with the snow removal. So there's nowhere you can't get to. So you'll see people going to games all the time here. Like the Alhambra that was in Frostburg for 60 years or more. That was very well attended by Garrett County people. And so you have a basketball loving county here. And that's why it was kind of a no-brainer to bring it. But to be able to expose our people and our kids to that is incredible. And to add that the high school, not just the high school, the elementary and the middle school kids to see that, and to be able through sponsorships to be able to come for free admission from the county is really a neat thing.
Yeah, that is so cool. Coming up next, we got to hear from Ron Bittinger. How are you doing?
Doing well.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and where your involvement with Western Maryland Classic is.
So, I'm Ron Bittinger. I work at First Net Bank. I'm also, head of the basketball officials here locally, Allegheny Officials Association. And I got to know Dan, just through the ranks of being an official and whatnot. And of course, he was coach at the time. And obviously, my organization provided officiating services to Dan when he was coaching, in Cumberland, and also, for the event when it was in Cumberland at the Allegheny College under a different name, and of course, now here at Garrett College. And I think Dan obviously recognized that we have local officials that I pull from Allegheny, Garrett counties, and also some from West Virginia, some from Pennsylvania that can come here. High level officials can work these games and work them competently. Because this is these games are not easy to do as an official. They're hard, especially when you look at the level of play. You have a lot of above the rim play that we don't normally see on a local level. Every so often we'll see somebody who can really jump really high and is an incredible athlete, but they're few and far between here locally. But these kids, they've got all 12 of them can get up and dunk the basketball and just do incredible things, run real fast, and they're just phenomenal athletes.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, last year I had the good fortune of sitting courtside for a couple of those games, and my gosh, the level of competition when you're right there, I mean, you wouldn't notice a difference between being at that game or, an NBA game or something. Just the level of play that those guys are at. That was intense stuff.
And our job as officials for that level of game is to, yes, it's difficult, but it's also you have to pick a balance of, calling the things that need to be called, but also just let them play. And essentially just get out of the way, because these kids are, you hate to, say that our local kids aren't in the same league, but honestly, it's a whole different level of basketball. And maybe you hear some comments of some local kids would say, well, why did he call that foul in this game but not in our game, or vice versa? It's like, well, these kids are these high level kids they're so graceful, and how they can avoid contact and stuff that might be a foul in our local game, we pass on in these higher level games, because you need to make that call in a higher level game. And I think that would for Dan being a high level coach, he can appreciate that. For example, last year we had a dunk that went sort of viral. That one of my officials, and we joked with him at the time when he made this call. When it literally went viral within minutes. We picked on him a little bit. I said, did you need to make that call? He says, that by rule, that was a charge. And I'm like, yeah, but that was a beautiful dunk.
And that's what three of us are coaches sitting here with one referee, right? And we're all like, he jumped over him.
Yeah. So plays like that, by rule, that was a charge or a play control foul. But wow, sometimes you got to let those go, because that was high level play for sure.
It's funny. It's a couple of the clips from those games were on SportsCenter and stuff, and how cool it was. Get on something like SportsCenter's Facebook page or their webpage and be able to see Garrett County, our games being played in Garrett County, and you see the Lakers logo in the middle of the floor, and how cool that was in Garrett College being featured. I mean, that is so awesome to see our home and our area featured on this level, and that awesome gameplay was just so cool. Speaking of coaches, jumping back over here to Mr. Paul Edwards. Paul, tell us a little bit of what you think this is from a commissioner's angle and from a personal angle. You've been a basketball guy in our community your whole life. What does this mean for us?
Yeah, I don't know that I can add much more than what these guys already said, but any time any area can bring in the best, that's a high statement. And this, I think, with what Dan's done and with Matt and Ron's help and everybody that's been involved in this, I think have created what might be the best high school basketball tournament in the country. So there's high prestige with that. And so that's good for all the reasons we talked about, exposure, and then certainly, the people being here and spending money. And, the scholastic side of my life, and I work with Matt very closely. I'm the county athletic director. The ability for our kids to participate in that and be part of that is a big deal too. So, all the way around, there's only positives that come out of this. It's really become a community event. There's sponsors and people that are involved in this event literally from all four corners of this county, and there's a buzz in the community about it. As Matt said, there's a lot of big basketball fans here. They're all excited about it, and I hope it's here for a long time and continues to pay dividends.
it really has become something of national acclaim, and it's been earned through 2 hard years of a lot of work from you guys and your team. And going into this 3rd year, it's going to be even bigger, and I'm sure that's been a challenge. But for a man like Dan Prete and his team, that is no issue. So how would you juggle this, Dan? We talked a little bit before the show started about some of the logistics that have been involved with creating this tournament, but you come from a career of coaching, of organizing events like this. Tell us a little bit about the logistics angle of bringing these teams together. How do you go out and find these national teams, and what's the process like of selecting them to bring them here to this tournament?
So basically, this is a conference. A lot of these teams are in the same conference, and these are their conference games. And so we're partnering with Nike because they're the owners of the conference.
Okay.
And that's how we kind of get some of these teams. And then, since I've been doing this for a long time, I do get the opportunity to request teams that I want to see. And, teams we have good experience with, like, for example, Lalamere out of Indiana. I try to bring them everywhere I go. Last year was the first year they weren't with me in 9 years. And they're back this year. But that's kind of how it really works.
Nice.
But the logistics behind it is absolutely incredible. That's why we have to have a committee to really try to dive into this, where this year, more than any other year, you can imagine, with all of the shutdown that just ended, but trying to deal with airlines over the last week and try to organize
gosh, I
teams
can't
from
imagine.
Arizona, Tennessee, North Carolina, Missouri to get here has been, a tough task.
I imagine.
I think we're almost there, but that's very tough to do. We've gotten through those little points, and just to kind of add something to what was said earlier about the local stuff. Also, though, we harp on the kids here, and the community here gets to see some of these guys. But I'm going to tell you, from taking my teams out for all these years, those teams get to see this area where they don't normally get a chance to see a community such as this, where it's the people want this, the camaraderie, I saw more kids at La Lemire one year excited about watching Southern Garrett's boys than some of the national teams that were there, because they don't get regular high school atmosphere most of the time. Most of the time, they're having to travel and play in a city, in a hotel that they don't even know sometimes that they're at. That's what it's kind of turned into. I think they miss communities like this. And this is a wonderful place to show off that atmosphere. The generosity of everybody. This is not a regular event that they have around the country. This is something totally different. We used to call them concrete tournaments that we would go to, where you would get off a plane, get on a bus, go to a hotel, go to a game, get back on a plane, leave. We've had kids from California staring at the mountainside in the snow in their practice gear and having to bring them inside because they didn't understand that it was cold out.
Yeah.
They hadn't seen it yet. And so getting to see this community is really important to those teams that I think we forget sometimes that for them, it's just as big to come here that it is for our kids to see that. So, to these guys in the room here that have helped make it happen, that's a special point that I think we do forget about this.
Awesome. Well, thanks for throwing that in there. Speaking of some of these teams, what are the caliber of the teams that we can expect this year? Talk to us a little bit about the tournament. Who can we look forward to seeing?
Well, La Lemire is always in the top 25, and again, they are this year. They're out of Indiana, but there's two teams that I really wanted to see that I have not had it at my events. Link Academy out of Missouri. They're ranked 2 in the country right now in the preseason polls.
Wow.
They've been in the national championship talk for the last couple years. And then another one that actually we've had a good relationship with, but just never had them with us, is AZ Compass out of Arizona. And the reason they're important to us is because they have a young man named Caden House that has signed with the University of Maryland.
Really?
So he's a shooting guard. He's a very good player, and I think it would be really any Maryland fan in the area, that would be a nice attraction to be able to come see him, grab an autograph, all of those types of things, because I think he's going to be pretty good for Maryland.
Absolutely. See these guys before they get big.
And then there's another wonderful school that does, I really respect them out of North Carolina, Christ School, because they do a wonderful job of combining academics and basketball. It's not just about basketball. They do an incredible school academically. They're coming for the first time. And then a new school to this conference is called CATS, and it's out of Boston. It's a boarding school, and again, it's one of the best academic institutions in the Northeast. So we're excited about them. They're very similar to what Brewster was on those lines. It's been here for 2 years in a row. Very talented, but also an extremely high academic situation. So we're excited about that. We have also got teams that are willing to come here that are not in this conference. Wasatch Academy is a team that's in this conference but was not scheduled to play, but called me and said, "Can we come?"
No way.
And
How
they're
cool is
from
that?
Utah. So I made arrangements and got them games to get up here to play. And they're going to play two schools from down in D.C. area, Mount Zion, who was here last year. Matt, help me out. Who'd they beat?
Mount Zion beat. Did they beat Brewster?
Did they beat Veritas?
Veritas.
They beat Veritas out of California. Yep. And Lafayette Dublin is their coach, who used to be my assistant. So I want him to be up here, and also Bishop O'Connell, which is down in Virginia, is also coming back to play Wasatch. So we're getting teams requests to come out here now.
Wow, that is incredible.
Pretty neat.
And the O'Connell connection for us is Joe Wooten, is the head coach at O'Connell, and a Deep Creek Lake semi-resident. So he's a known figure here by a lot of our locals.
Fantastic. Well, that is really cool. And I'm going to throw this out here. So for anyone that's coming in, set it up for me. The event is going to be happening from January 29th through the 31st. So right over the top of the year. Come here, enjoy your vacation and your holiday season, but come right back because you're going to want to experience this. And for anyone locally that wants to get out there and see great basketball, again, that is January 29th through the 31st. When does the event kick off? On the 29th, when's the first tip-off?
First game is at 12:30 on the 29th, and that's Southern Garrett is going to open that up.
Oh, nice.
The boys will play Petersburg, West Virginia.
Okay,
This should be a
fantastic.
good matchup. This should be a real good matchup. Actually, it should be a very good basketball game.
Excellent. So how are the games slated? So is day one kind of more local teams, day two kind of national teams? What does that look like?
It's each day is a combination of both.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So any certain timelines people should look at? So expect to get here at 12. How many games are happening in a day? What's their day going to look like?
Each day has 5 games,
All right.
back to back to back. Some of them are covered on. We have to wait till Nike releases the streaming and television package, but some of them will be on air. Yeah, no, I think all the games, from the locals to the. I think Matt's done a great job matching up some of the local teams, where I think it's going to just be a wonderful, hopefully very competitive day each day.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a little about the streaming packages. So again, Nike's a big partner behind this tournament. And you've mentioned before, is it still the case that there's not a lot going on that time of year? So a lot of eyes are on the Western Maryland Classic. Is that true?
Yeah, there's really only 2 other events that go on, but they're only day events, one day. And now with what we're about to put out there, the numbers that I just received about the streaming service and also the media, that we have the ability to reach to 750,000 people right now.
Incredible.
So that's just what we know of, not the ones that just come on their own. So, it's getting bigger and bigger, where helps our community out.
Yeah.
Where more eyes are on us than ever before. So, that's a good thing for the area, I think.
Absolutely. And, one great thing about this is you have opened this event, which has a lot of attention to sponsorships and local companies and local individuals that want to see an event like this thrive in our area. It's not just good for you guys, because I imagine this is an immense undertaking. You talk about the logistics of bringing all these teams. You talk about the logistics of setting up an event like this. It's got to be massive, and there's a dollar amount behind that. And what's nice is you guys have been able to engage the local community, and you've been able to engage businesses, of course, to be a part of this. So tell us a little bit about that process. Have you guys been taking sponsors? Are you still looking for sponsors? What's that look like right now?
We're always looking for sponsors, Connor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have added some new ones. We're hopefully, Dan and I are working on one. Dan now more than me, but hopefully a real big one. If we get that, that'll really help. But yeah, I mean, anybody would like to sponsor and get involved. We sell courtside seats. Ron will talk about this here in a second, but we have a vendor situation where people can buy different things for different people. I think it's a little bigger than last year. If you remember last year, there was vendors set up.
Yeah.
It's going to be bigger. But yeah, hey, you want to rent it? You want to sponsor? Come down, or you got a courtside package and sit on the court at a big table. Yeah, get a hold of us.
And I can personally attest it is absolutely worth it. Again, when those players are right in front of you, and sometimes you're worried if they're going to fall over on you or the basketball's coming your way, trust me, it's a thrill, it's adrenaline, it's a lot of fun, and it's worth every dollar. Speaking of that vendor event, last year it was so awesome. In between games, or if I got hungry, thirsty, you went out in the hallway, and there were some pretty cool vendors there selling food, selling drinks, and selling things that I really didn't see anywhere else. Ron, you kind of done a lot of work in expanding that effort today. I understand they're going to be lining the halls with exclusive vendors. Again, something you can only find at Western Maryland Classic. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're really excited to expand, on the vendor component, just because I think we hit on it a little bit earlier. This has become a real community event. Just a place for Garrett County and local residents to just kind of congregate, for the weekend. You had to watch some good basketball, but this year also partake in some amazing food options, and also walk down the hallway of the Carc here and purchase some crafts. And we have a number of different craft vendors here, so I won't get into all the specifics of that, but we'll have some pretty good options here. I know Autumn Glory always has a really good vendor, component. So we've tried to just kind of capture a little bit of that, just a little taste of it.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of limited for space here at the Carc, but I guess want to just grab sort of a sample of what the bigger events may have. But just coming back to the food here, I mean, this is going to be a destination for food for that weekend. I mean, we have some just absolutely just phenomenal vendors who are coming this year. I guess I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag that we have. Bill Meher is coming here with his entities. We have Archie's Barbecue, which he's just acquired. It's called Lakeside Archie's now. Also, he's bringing Lakeside Creamery here for ice cream. He's having Deep Creek Donuts here. And that's just his entities. Of course, we'll have the Castleman back with their baked goods and what have you. We also have one of our newest, and I'm really excited about this, and I know Connor, you are too, is Deep Creek Pretzel.
Absolutely.
With Mary Burris. I mean, her pretzels are just the absolute best. Well, I'll go ahead and throw some shade at Auntie Anne's. Mary's are better than Auntie Anne's. Deep Creek Pretzels, definitely come here and get those.
That's no shade at all. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Come on, made here locally, and it is fantastic. Auntie Anne's, beware.
Yep.
Deep Creek Pretzels is after you.
We also have the Workman family will be back with the travel mug out of Grantsville. They did well last year. I think it was a welcome addition. We're going to have a gourmet popcorn vendor here. And then, also, again, a number of, craft vendors, what have you. We had a young fellow here last year. His name was Eli. Eli's 3D Lab had some really cool 3D printed items. That was a big hit for the younger kids. We had KBG Stuffies. This is the little, the Build-A-Bear type vendor. He'll be back. He's a good friend of mine. We'll have Rick Dolan, Woodcrafts. Matt knows him well. Real good guy.
Designs, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Woodplex.
Yeah, real good guy here. We'll have a new, a business here to the community is Lazy Bear Gift Shop. That's Charlotte Savoy's shop there at the old fort there that she acquired. And there's many more. I don't want to list all of them. That's just sort of a taste of what's coming here. And I think, but I'm really excited about the food vendors. I mean, just come here for the food alone. And while you're here eating stuff in your face, grab some basketball. Watch that too.
Absolutely. You're here, you're watching a good game. It's cold outside, you need something to stick to your bones. And I love to say this, Garrett County is great because they provide that food that will just bless your soul, let me tell you.
And Connor, if it's cold, the heat will be on. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this. And I've been around a lot. Dan more than me, obviously. He's coached kids, that play at this level all the time. And I've gotten to do it a couple of times, right? But to be able to watch kids like this for the price that you're going to pay to see it is incredible. Like you're going to pay $30, $40, $50 a day to see this, and here you're not.
Wow. So speaking of price, tell me, what am I going to pay for an admission ticket?
We are at $12 for the day.
No way.
And Landon's Library sponsors all the kids 12 and under.
No way.
So,
incredible.
Kids 12 and under get in for free. And, so to be able to see that level of game, I mean, my gosh. I mean, you go to a youth AAU tournament and you're paying just for the weekend, you're paying, quadruple that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're paying
absolutely.
$30 to park.
Yeah. So you're getting a pretty good deal here. And, hopefully it's worth it.
And I thought the first year I thought our crowds were good, but I think this year they're going to become excellent, like packed. That's the expectation and the goal.
Oh, absolutely. I can't even go to McDonald's anymore for $12. And you're saying I can come and get this experience where, hey, I can park for free, I can take the kids under 12 and the whole family, and I'm paying $12 for my ticket to see this national level competition basketball that is not just supporting national teams but local teams as well. You get an opportunity to see once in a lifetime or very unique craft vendors, very unique players have this very unique experience. And again, it's a very economical.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere.
No,
right? I
no.
mean, you're seeing guys that are going to be in the NBA, and you go to an NBA game, you're paying, $12 for a hamburger and, $10 for a soda or whatever. In here you've got the local vendors, good food, like the pretzels that Ron was talking about. I'm sure she's not going to charge you $12, right? And
Yeah.
Soda. It's not, so your $12 ticket, like you said, your kids get it free. What you can't beat it. Like, I'm sorry.
No, you have to go on principle.
Right, and you're seeing each night. You're seeing all 3 days of this event have people that are going to, at the very minimum, play high major basketball. You're going to see them at night on ESPN or Fox Sports or CBS Sports. You're going to see them in the NCAA tournament, and at Maxwell, you're going to see a bunch of these guys play in a league.
Yeah.
And make piles of money, right? And so to do that at $12, and it's the third annual, right? We come out and watch this because it's really big time.
Yeah, we want people to get out there and pack the stands because, not only are you going to be there having that experience, you never know who you're going to see. In fact, last year I understand you had quite a special guest. Who ended up showing up?
It was Carmelo Anthony. His son played for Long Island Lutheran. He came and I was pretty impressed that he, spent so much time signing autographs. He made sure the kids got something signed. And before we forget, I want to give a shout out to tell me the name of the band, the Ram Band.
The Ram Band.
The Ram Band last year was the hit of the tournament. And,
No way.
I'm
That's
pretty
awesome.
sure they're coming back this year. And
Here we go. I got the commitment. Mr. Shaw and I, Jason Shaw, the Ram Band director, he's bringing the stage band back again.
let's go.
Nice.
Now, actually, and this sounds a little, bad, so to speak, for the Rams, but I don't think he can make the noon game that Southern actually plays in, but he's going to make sure he's here for all the afternoon games, all 3 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I can tell you that was pretty fun.
It was, and I'll be honest with you, what team was it that the second day they were requesting songs, and then the third day they were upset. They were upset. Where's the band? And I'm like, I'm sorry, they couldn't come.
Yeah.
And they were disappointed, and that's big because that goes back to what Dan was saying about the kids that come to this, the concrete. You go airplane, bus, hotel, arena. When I did the McDonald's game, this is what you did. Like we didn't get to see anything. I've been to Chicago. What is it? I don't know. I went to the arena and the airport. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
They were so on time and professional. You almost thought it was a professional band up there, and they are. They're
They
all extremely
And you give
professional.
him
But
credit, and I'm glad Dan brought it up because I thought I forgot about it. But Jason Shaw is very good at what he does.
oh, absolutely. I mean, they did an incredible job. Back to Carmelo, I just saw him in a commercial the other day, and I was like, it's so cool. I got to see him in person. And he was right here in Garrett County. I mean, how big is that? And, we look forward to who else might show up. This is starting to get bigger. It's starting to get a lot of attention, and I think it's going to be great for our community. It's going to be great for our players. We want this here for many years. We want it to get bigger and better. It's at a great facility. Paul, tell me a little bit about the CARC. I've heard it's a fantastic facility when compared to others around. Is that true? What do we got here?
Well, you're not going to find a better junior college facility anywhere that I know of. That's for sure. It also serves not just, in true community college fashion. It's more than just a facility for the college. It does serve the community. Case in point, this tournament that's coming up. We have our elementary school bocce championships here next week, so it just serves the needs of so many people. Indoor pool, fitness center. I mean, it's unbelievable asset, not just to the college, but to the county. But when you look at Garrett College as a whole, and you look at the CARC, you look at the new baseball field, you look at the Performing Arts Center, and even the library and the STEM Center. I mean, state of the art across the board. Probably it's the nicest community college I've ever been on. Not that I've been on 100 of them, but I've been on most of them in Maryland, and this is the nicest one there is. So that's great.
So, Dan, you've been in a lot of these facilities too. What can you tell us about the CARC? What do you think? How does it stack up?
Well, I would start with the fact that the staff, the administration of the college and the athletic department make it really special. On top of the building itself, but the ability to have people wanting to help out at these events is huge, and the school staff has just been incredible with that. So in that terms, yeah, it's off the charts. And then having such a well-lit arena for these kids to play, it's a big court, and it's just wonderful. The lighting is really good on that court for a high school. Well, I'm sure any basketball game, but for that game, so it comes across really good on the stream or the television. And we are going to be on League Ready, which is a YouTube channel that is sponsored by ESPN and Nike again this year.
Wow, that is incredible.
So anybody from around the world actually will be able to watch.
Nice. That is so cool. That is so cool.
To see the arena, which hopefully can attract one day a bigger admissions policy for the school, because when people see what, as Paul mentioned, what they have to offer here, it's off the charts when you talk about junior colleges. Forget Maryland, around the country, really. And when people get to see that, and this is another way to promote that, it's pretty big for that.
Yeah, some of the people I was talking to last year that had attended the game from the different areas, I think it was a couple kids from California, were like, man, they thought this school was huge compared to this facility that we had because it was so nice. Just to find it here in the surrounding that we have, it's kind of a rarity. And you look at all of our facilities here; they are state of the art, and it's so cool that it's been able to house this event going forward. So we've had a lot of discussion about ticket pricing, information, sponsorships. But if somebody's listening out there and they want to learn more, where's the best place for them to go? Who should they contact? Let's talk about tickets. If someone's interested in buying tickets, can they do so ahead of time, or is there going to be tickets available at the door? How's that work?
Most of the tickets are at the door, but we do have a Eventbrite that we promote on the website that we have,
Okay.
WesternMarylandClassic.com. It will be up on that shortly as we get a little closer, where you can buy tickets online. But most of the tickets are purchased at the door.
Okay.
For those wanting to. A lot of we use Eventbrite, but we use that because a lot of the teams from out of the area, when their families come in, they like to do the tickets online. So we use it more for the out of town people, but anybody's more than welcome to purchase tickets online.
Awesome. Great. Because there's going to be no shortage of room. There's plenty of bleacher space. People, get on over here. You're going to be able to buy your tickets at the door, or you can go to westernmarylandclassic.com to purchase your tickets through Eventbrite ahead of time. Again, totally up to you, but there's going to be plenty of space. So whether you buy your tickets ahead of time or whether you buy them at the door, don't worry about getting in. We want you there. Bring the whole family. It's going to be good. Now, for anyone that may be interested in maybe sponsoring this event or putting some dollars behind it to help make this even bigger and better, who would they contact?
There's some information on the website of our contact information that people can check into, and any three of the or any one of these guys can help you out also. If you see them, at some point and want to get involved, we can always use it to help make this bigger and better every year. So every dollar counts.
Nice.
Yeah, and if they're not sure who to get a hold of, I mean, they can always get a hold of Paul and I. I'm sure everybody knows how to get it. And obviously then the information's on the website. But again, if people are out there listening and they're saying, how do I get involved? Just give me a call at the high school or email me, and then Paul the same way, and then we'll steer everybody in the right direction.
Awesome. Now, is there a centralized number or email for the Western Maryland Classic that someone could reach out to if they had questions?
I would say the easiest one right now, where is it right here? WMC at rim2rimelite.org, and that's RIM, the number 2, RIM elite, ELITE.org.
So I understand you guys have a presence on social media as well. It looks like you guys are on Facebook, Instagram, and X, or whatever Elon's calling it these days. So what is the page called? Western Maryland Classic?
X is WMC Hoops.
At WMC Hoops on X.
Yeah, and then Instagram, I believe, is going to be the same. You can
Excellent.
find it if you search Western Maryland Classic. It comes up on all the streaming platforms.
Perfect. So anyone that wants to keep up to date on the fresh news, maybe they want to look at the lineups or the schedules, they can go to the website, or they can tune in to their favorite social media to find out more information.
Yeah, and the webpage is their best bet. I think I know a lot of people use the social media platforms, but the website is like the key depository of information, and it's a work in progress. It's always going to be updated. So.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I think we've learned a lot about the Western Maryland Classic. It's the 3rd annual, and we are excited for it. It's happening January 29th through the 31st. It starts at 12. On the 29th, you are not going to want to miss a minute. We've got local, national, awesome teams. We've got local vendors. We're going to have an experience for a awesome price that you are not going to want to miss at all. So before we close up this program, gentlemen, I kind of want to go around the room one last time to hear what you have to say. At the end of every program, I kind of open up the mic to my guests to hear what they have to say. So let's start here with Paul. We'll go around.
Yeah, I just can't say enough that I think this is another feather in the cap of Garrett County, and thank Dan for bringing the tournament here and believing in us and what we can do. And I know Ron and Matt have put a lot of work into this, along with a lot of other people. We've talked about the benefits to the community. We talked about the benefits to the local kids and kids coming in. So it's just a feel-good story all the way around with some great basketball. I mean, not to be lost in the whole thing, there's just going to be some great basketball. So if you're a basketball fan at all, certainly come out. If you're not able to come out because you're away or you live somewhere far away or whatever, you can tune in and watch it. But, support this tournament because we want it to be here for a long time, because it's going to be a big deal for Garrett County for a long time to come.
I'm excited again for year 3. Again, Dan and I became really good friends years ago, and then to share the endeavor with him means a lot to me. He's well respected, and not just as a coach and so forth, as a human, as a person. He and I share a lot of the same. We share a lot of the same visions and goals, right? And so when it was very important to him to involve local schools. And I'd be remiss not to say we also involved the Northern and Southern girls programs. That allowed our girls, the Southern girls who have a very good shot to contend for a state title, to play another high level team. And we'll play a team from Pittsburgh, Thomas Jefferson, big time football school. But that's an exciting aspect for him. And Dan, when we shared the vision of this, that he wanted to, it wasn't just like an afterthought either. It was like it was an important entity. We had to involve the locals to share in this, and that's a big thing. And it's an exciting event, like Paul said, and everybody said. This is like a celebration of basketball in Garrett County. I worked the game last year because a man got sick. Paul and I had to do the Northern Southern basketball game together on the radio. And the whole time, I think he and I, because we've done this so long here in the county, so we're indoctrinated into both schools, Northern and Southern. And, he and I talked about how together, like, it's just a great community. And it's like a celebration of basketball, And I'm very happy and proud to be a part of this, and that is here. I'm so excited to see it.
Awesome.
And for me, one thing that we haven't mentioned yet that I'm really happy about is we're partnering this year with some local charities to help them, bring awareness to their cause. Also help them, raise some needed funds. This year we were partnering with Hospice of Garrett County, Cindy's Fund, and the United Way. They're each going to have their own night, again, where they can have their folks here to, again, promote their cause, raise, again, needed funds for their cause, and then they can also partake in some good basketball as well. But I think it's also huge for the community to have that. I think, those organizations, they do a fantastic job at, promoting their cause and raising funds. But, again, for those things, they always need help, always. It's just perpetual. And it's what a great opportunity for them to get some exposure, and also for people if the kindness is placed on their heart to give money to the cause. It's just a win-win. So I'm really happy to have those organizations involved. And I think Paul can attest that those are all three fantastic organizations. They're the best. And I think I really want to harp on, at least for me anyway, just the community part. Having those local schools there from our what I call Mountain Maryland, Allegheny, and Garrett County, plus some surrounding schools in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, whatnot. That is huge with this event. Huge to get the locals here, because this is housed in Garrett County. It's housed at Deep Creek Lake, but it's bigger than that. It's I think it's all encompassing of this region, because we've tried to tap into all those schools that are within 60, 70 mile radius, as much as we can anyway. And I think it's just huge to get locals here to come partake in the community event that we're having here. Basketball is why we're coming here, but I think in year 3 we've grown it bigger. Whereas yes, it's basketball, but it's much more. Now it's actually a destination to go see friends, go have some good food. Oh no, there's basketball happening too.
Awesome.
For me, I think the special part of this is that, everybody at this table and a couple other guys that aren't here, we all have other jobs, and we have families and all of that. And I can tell you, I do a lot of, I'm an athletic director at Mary of Nazareth School down in Dornstown, Maryland, and I coach a professional basketball team, the Flying Cows, out of Frederick, and run camps, and I work in Brazil. But this is the best week of my year, being able to come up here, spend time with these guys, because we don't get to hang out all year long. But during that, I'll be honest, I actually come up a couple days early just so I could spend the entire week rather than coming up just for the tournament, just because I enjoy being up here. And it's a good time, and I think everybody has hit on everything where, we're using basketball to kind of connect everything together the best we can. That's what we know how to do. And, thank goodness for Paul is helping us get this done for us basketball-minded people, where we can try to connect some dots for everybody. And, it's our little project, and hopefully it's going to pay off in the long run for Garrett County and this area. And, hopefully we can have this here for many years to come.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Dan and Paul and Matt and Ron. You guys have given us a lot of great information. We're looking forward to the third year of the Western Maryland Classic happening here in McHenry, Maryland, at the beautiful Carrick facility. We look forward to seeing all of you coming out to patronize. We want to see you there. We want to see you on the bleachers. We want to see you taking advantage of such a great experience, seeing these vendors, seeing these awesome teams as they play some incredible basketball. You can learn more by going to www.westernmarylandclassic.com. If you have any questions, you can email wmc@rim2rim, that's RIM, the number 2, RIM, elite.org, or you can follow them on Instagram, X, or Facebook. Again, keep up to date on the latest happening in the Western Maryland Classic world. We're looking forward to this national acclaimed event happening right here in our community. Be sure to be here with us. All right, for all those people that are listening, thank you for listening to the Business Bear podcast. We appreciate you hanging out for another episode.
If you want to pick up when more episodes are dropping, be following us at Garrett County, Maryland, Department of Business Development. On our Facebook, we have a LinkedIn, we have a Twitter or X, whatever Elon's calling it these days. We now also have an Instagram. Please follow us there. That's we're really trying to make that. But thanks for listening, and folks, we'll see you on the other side.